Denver, South Park, and Pacific built a railroad track over the Boreas Pass in 1882. This line ran from Como to Breckenridge, Colorado. Although it was abandoned by the Colorado and Southern by 1938, many railroad relics are still lying around on the road. The road begins at the Highline Railroad Park in Breckenridge, Colorado. I visited this museum in 2013, but a lot has changed there since then. The Highline Railroad Park deserves its own video. Further up the road is the Baker's Water Tank. This is located 5.5 miles out of Breckenridge. Thankfully, this water tank was saved and restored in 1958. I don't know if it received any further coats of paint or repair work since then, as you can see by the paint wearing off the base. .4 miles out of Breckenridge is the summit where this boxcar is located. It is Colorado and Southern 8311. This car might have been built in 1935, or that's when it was last measured. I really like this latch, which came from car 5714. The wheel was manufactured by the Griffin Wheel Company, which is still in business outside of Kansas City. Although you can go inside of it, there wasn't much worth it to take pictures of, which I'll show in a little bit. This is what the other side of the car looked like. This boxcar has been in the Como roundhouse since September 2020. They left the brake wheel inside the boxcar so it won't get stolen. There are also these other bits of railroad metal in the car. There are also some historic documents inside the car, including the blueprints of this boxcar. I find it neat they were able to fit all of these rules and regulations onto one sheet. And this is a Denver to Como schedule dated 1883. Also outside of the boxcar there's this switch frog. This was probably cast by the Elliott Bros Steel Company in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. There's also this old wooden crossing gate with a modern crossbuck. And this is the map of the railroads of the area I was in during my Colorado 2018 vacation. This information board also had this picture that I showed earlier in the video. This is a 1964 painting done by Howard Fogg. There are also these cutouts atop the sign of information, which were framed by actual rails. At approximately 20 miles from Breckenridge is the Como Roundhouse. This abandoned roundhouse has been undergoing a restoration project since 1995. At the entrance to the Roundhouse Museum, there's this side of a tender. It was probably recovered from the area. There's also this old boiler. I'm not sure which engine it came from. I don't know if anyone knows. This has the number 8 on it, so it might come from Colorado and Southern number 8. Fortunately, the roundhouse was open during my visit. There's this display of how the roundhouse looked prior to restoration work. There's this Colorado and Southern gondola car that's been brought in. There are these replica headlights. This switch stand is also a replica, but this coach section is another original artifact. Is car number 56, built in 1878. This is how the car looked when the museum acquired it. Another relic in this museum are the frames of Caboose 1008. A similar bobber caboose is on display in Breckenridge. They even have a complete steam locomotive in here. This isn't some relic, it was brought in 2017. Its tender also has Griffin wheels on it. The engine is former White Pass and Yukon Route number 4, Klondike Kate. This 262 locomotive was built by Baldwin in 1912 and is similar to those the Denver South Park and Pacific ran. This locomotive is wood-fired and fully operational. This roundhouse wasn't the best light to take pictures of the locomotive in, and it's pretty hard to see the locomotive inside of it too. I like how the dirt on this locomotive makes it look like it's an actual hard-working locomotive. This is a really nice cow catcher on this locomotive. This is how the locomotive looked shortly after its arrival at Como. This is one of the empty tracks that has an inspection pit. And parked outside of it is this speeder car that the museum owns. They also have this beautifully restored hand car. It might even be a replica. Look how small the turntable rail is compared to the roundhouse track rail. I believe this turntable is the original, which has been restored in 2016-ish. And there's this other gondola car, which I believe has been brought in too. A lot of the rolling stock has been brought in. And of course, the front of the roundhouse itself. I like how each door has been patched differently. They also have these two recovered box cars, and this one number 13121, which has been kept in good paint. There's also this flat car and gondola car that has been brought in from the Georgetown Loop Railroad. In addition to restoring the roundhouse and some track, the museum has also restored the station and the hotel. And that does it for this short video. Thank you for watching.